Welcome to Creepy Feet. Hello. This is episode 4, I believe, and we're still on Joseph. So this is post 2 from Joseph. So episode 4 of Creepy Feet, post 2 of Joseph. And here we go. I spent what I learned later to be 5 days in that cellar without any food, water, or light. I found a corner to relieve myself in, as far away from where I sat as I could go. There's a little trench dug up in that corner. I could feel it when I was searching for the ground. The trench extends through the wall into more darkness. Although it's cold down here, I have started to smell like sweat and bad BO. On the 5th day of dark, damp, and cold, the door upstairs swung open and a light filled the room that I was chained in. The light hurt my eyes. I squeezed them shut as tight as I could before slowly beginning to open them and look around. We were in some kind of basement. Along the wall that I was chained to were 9 other people just like me, starved, thirsty, and desperate for freedom. Each of them had their own little trench that went through the wall to the outside. A tall, burly man in a white button-up shirt and black slacks came down the stairs. He had a bushy beard that covered his chin and dark, short hair. His eyes were bright blue. The way he looked at you, the way he stared, made your blood turn to ice. The man didn't say anything at first. He just took a hose and sprayed out the trenches that we all used for our bathrooms. Then he stood before us and ordered us to take off our clothes. The other 3 women that were trapped down here with me began to sob. The man barked at us and threatened us with a beating if we didn't comply. I thoughtlessly obeyed his command. I stripped naked and watched around me as a few others did the same. There were 2 men out of the 10 of us that refused to take off their clothes. I'll never forget their defiance. When they didn't obey, the man then grabbed a tire iron. He beat one of the 2 men almost to death. His face was bloody and swollen. His ribs were most likely broken. His arms had cracked after one hearty swing with the tire iron. When he was done beating the man to a pulp, he looked at the other man that was also defiant. That man then decided to obey and fearfully took his clothes off. The man with the iron threw his weapon across the room and then stripped the bloodied man out of his clothing. He took all of our clothes before leaving the basement again and returning us to darkness. Is he alive? I asked no one in particular. I can't get close enough to him to tell, one of the men answered me. I cried. Now, not only was I cold and damp, now I was completely naked and shivering in a ball against the wall. Hours went by when we finally heard the beat man begin to move about and cry in pain as he adjusted his broken body. I didn't know what these people had in store for us, and I was terrified to know what that could be. I waited in the darkness and the cold for something to happen. Then suddenly the door swung open again and the lights came on, and a different man came down the stairs. He was a tall, slender man with short brown hair, brown eyes, and a kind smile. He wore a white button-up shirt and a pair of black slacks and dress shoes. He walked down in front of the 10 of us. My name is Joseph. I bet you're all wondering why you are here. Well, I'll tell ya. You have all been chosen for a bigger purpose in life. You have been chosen to follow a path that not many get to follow. It is here in this school where you will be taught. Your instructors are here to guide you and shape you into the best followers you can be. When you graduate, if you graduate, you will be open to a new way of living. I didn't understand. Joseph continued. You can call me the god of this place. While you're here in my custody and care, I will hold your lives in my hands. So I suggest to all y'all, mind yourself and listen to your instructors carefully. Please let us go, a woman sobbed. Joseph laughed. Why would I do a silly thing like that? No, I ain't gonna let none of y'all leave this place until your conformity is done. Conformity? I questioned. Yeah, Jessica said. Here, after all this schooling is done, y'all will have a new understanding of life and your beliefs will be altered. I don't want this, the captive man shouted in rage. That's a silly thing to say. You've been chosen for a higher purpose. You should be excited and grateful for this experience with me. Another woman began to sob. I didn't know what to think then. I wanted to scream, to get out of these chains and run as far and as fast as I could go. Now I'm going to let y'all have a little shower to clean y'all up of filth. I'll be in and out to check on your progress through the school throughout your journey here. Now I should let you know, if you're a prize pupil, you will get special treatment and awards. Joseph smiled at all of us before making his way back up the stairs. 2 men came down after Joseph left. These men were large and gorged with fat and blubber. Their button-up shirts weren't long enough to cover their lower part of their belly. They reminded me of swine. That's when I decided to call them Pig 1 and Pig 2. It was a very fitting name, not just for their weight, but also because their noses reminded me of snouts. Pig 1 threw a white powder on us, and Pig 2 used a high-pressure hose to wash us off. It was painful, and the water was freezing cold. Once we were done with our showers, the 2 men left us alone, and once again we were in darkness. All right, now that was post 2 of Joseph. Hopefully some of you are following along. I don't really know if any of you are. Anyways, I hope you're enjoying the story so far. Stay tuned for post 3 coming up. This has been Creepy Feet.